I know what you're thinking. You saw the title already. Probably wondering, why am I messing with the exhaust on a V6? Well, number one, let's be honest, I can't leave anything stopped. It's not in me. Can't do it. Second of all, I've kind of seen the inside of the muffler and the mid-muffler. I haven't actually seen inside the mid-muffler fully yet. I've never seen one cut open, which I'm going to cut this one open. But the exhaust on this V6 is about the same as on the GT. Actually, it is the same as on the GT. The GXP is different. But you would think that, well, with the V6, if the GT can handle the horsepower with that exhaust, well, the V6 should be fine. But I think there's a flaw in this exhaust system. I'm going to see if I can't make this car run better without sounding too horrible. Now, obviously, I'm not trying to turn this into a drag car. I do want a little bit more sound out of it, but I don't want a horrible V6 sound. I'm not trying to make it exactly sound like a V8. I know the tone I want. I like to just hear the engine a little bit while I'm driving around, not a lot. So, I'm going to try something, see how it works. I mean, if all else fails, I have saws on a welder, I can change it again. That's not a big deal. But, first things first, is I'm going to go ahead and sawzall the mufflers off and get the new mufflers tacked into place. That way I can line up the exhaust tips exactly and leave them right where they are. I don't want that to look off. I want it to look like it is now. But, you know, let's just go ahead and get to that, and I'll show you the muffler. Alright, as you can tell, here's these big, bulky, ugly things. I'm going to cut one of these open at the shop. I'm going to see what that looks like on the inside, because that's a lot of space. Now, here's the new ones. Flow FX's by Flowmaster. It's not chambered, straight through, baffled design. Well, I'm hoping it gives it tone without making it too loud. Kind of like the S10, the budget build S10. I had one of these on it. Wasn't really that loud, so I'm hoping for the same results. Now, as you can see, I have an adapter on there for two reasons. First reason is the exhaust pipe on the back side is actually 2 1/4 and about 2 1/2 on the pipes for the muffler, which, when I cut off the tip, it sits in there almost perfect on that end, so that's great. But also, because with it like this, I'm actually going to get the proper length now, and the tailpipe should stick out exactly where I want it. So I'm actually just going to tack that with my little wire fed here in just a couple of spots so it'll stay, and then set it up, see what it looks like, get it where I want it, tack it again, and then I'll weld it at the shop fully. So with the muffler, if you can tell, comes in from the back side here with the baffled tube. And first of all, the baffle's back there could open up and it's got all this packing material in it. Looks like someone's old weave. And then it also goes into this right here, straight into it. Where somehow the exhaust has got to find its way all the way to that. It's not a very good design. Yeah, it's quiet, but there's no flow. You see it's baffled all the way to that packing material on the other side. Now I just need to figure out what to do here, because I'd like to add an H-pipe. So either A, I will somehow put an H-pipe in here, or just get rid of this whole thing altogether. This is now looking like a futile attempt for an H-pipe. I've looked at the X-pipe for this car. It is already perforated. Hardly no different than that. If this doesn't work, I'll just end up probably buying the MagnaFlow X-pipe for this and try this, see how this works on the car, and then go from there. But what I'll do, weld this in the best I can. Obviously it ain't going to be perfect on this side with the perforations. Fill it back full of material from the muffler, close it to a little hole in the side here, then weld the other side up. Now there it is. Obviously stuff's covered up because there's a storm coming. But got all the exhaust done. You can hear it. I like it. The wife likes it. There's not a lot of drone on the interior at all. You can hear the exhaust without it being too much, which I prefer. It's got a nice tone that I like. Doesn't sound too ricey. You can still tell it's a V6, but it's better than what it was. And obviously, these mufflers versus stock mufflers, well, that's a lot of flow difference right there. Those stock mufflers are just junk, honestly. Now, how much of a difference in power it made, I have no idea. It does feel like it runs quite a bit better. I don't know if that's just sound, because it's louder, but you know how that is. Just because it's loud don't mean it's going faster. But I got on it a few times, honestly, and I don't know, it seems to pull harder, especially in the higher RPMs. The low end of the car still struggles, which apparently is pretty common with these cars, which I think I figured something out, and probably what I'll end up doing is getting a buddy of mine. We'll tune it, and we'll work together and get this tune set up on this car, and maybe see what it can do. But there it is. I need to get out of here before the storm hits. And let me know what you think of the exhaust down in the comments below. I'd like to hear what you think. And I hope you enjoyed this video. And always, thanks for watching.